China's kicking Bitcoin out of their country. Bitcoin booms. And what does this mean for Mara? I'm Jason with VectorVest, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So for those of you who have been following Bitcoin, you will know that it has been a roller coaster for a while now. We peaked around 64K. We are down to 34,798 at the time of recording here. We are seeing a little bit of a pump up today. We did hit back up into the 40s back around the 21st. However, we have come all the way down to 28, back up to 35, down to 30, back up to 36, and we're slated for potentially another downswing leg. Now, why is this happening? There are a lot of reasons why this is happening, but the first one and the biggest one is because, well, China has decided to crack down on Bitcoin mining. So what does this mean for all of the Bitcoin miners like Maras and your bit farms and stuff like that? This is going to be a very, very big opportunity because the hash rate for Bitcoin is going down. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos where I've talked about hash rate, the hash rate is the computing power on the blockchain for Bitcoin that processes the transaction. As hash rate goes down, your transaction time goes up, which is pretty terrible for both the security and the speed of the network. So as the hash rate goes down, this is giving a bigger opportunity to mining companies and miners in general outside of China, because as the mining rate goes down, the hash rate goes down, the rewards that are given out, the amount of Bitcoins that are giving out remains the same. So from CoinDesk here, we say as the mining rate, hash rate falls down, the difficulty for mining readjusts. The business, Bitcoin's hash rate is the measure of how much computing power is securing the network and competing for Bitcoin rewards. The hash rate has fallen so much, it has actually kept on par with Bitcoin at $50,000. The companies indicate that they are now mining more Bitcoin on a daily basis than they were before without doing anything special. Now, this is really big because that means that these companies that were fighting for the bigger share or for a part of the share don't have to compete with the Chinese companies anymore, who I believe at one time had almost 60% of the world's mining done inside of that country. Now, this means that these companies are going to get more Bitcoin as Bitcoin stabilizes and what goes back up, because we're seeing a lot of institutional buy-in, your JP Morgans, your other things like that. We're also in a kind of a consolidation period. If you subscribe to Wyckoff's distribution and accumulation, we're potentially going to leg back up after people have accumulated down near the bottom. At the moment, I'm just playing it by ear, not going to talk about potential future Bitcoin pricing here, because we're here to talk about Mara and how this affects them. So this is going to be really, really big for the US in terms of establishing themselves for Bitcoin dominance, because we do have quite a few companies that are getting into the Bitcoin space. Again, Mara is one of those. Now, as long as our miners can kind of incorporate the green energy as well, that I know a lot of people have been very critical of, this would be very, very solid. Now, if we go over and we take a look at the Mara chart, we're going to take over here. Yeah, so not only that, but China is most likely going to be dumping a lot of their Bitcoin on the market because they're moving out. So this is also another reason why we would be seeing a decline in Bitcoin. But let's take a look here at the Mara chart. So we are on the daily for the last 4 months here, and we did hit a high up here at about 52.45. So that was the high, that was the close for that one. 56,685 is the high. Now, we did break down here, and like I said in previous videos, this is directly correlated to the movement in Bitcoin. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting here is if we bring back up, we'll go back up over here to the Bitcoin chart. Now, we see if we come out here, you know, to the last couple of months, we'll bring this out to a daily chart candle. Here we were at an hour, 4 hours. So back here in April is our peak, right up here at about 64. I think we peaked at about 64.5. Now, if we come back over here, if we go back to around that time is when we hit this peak right here. So as Bitcoin price started to fall, so did Mara, because, well, what is Mara outputting Bitcoin, right? So that kind of makes sense that the price would fall alongside Bitcoin. Now, however, we do see a retracement here back up above this moving average, and I'm kind of liking this. We're making higher lows and higher highs here on the daily closes. We have some upward trend here in the relative timing, and I'm really liking this one. We did close. We are here on a red candle, but at the time of recording, it's not end of day yet. But if we do take a look here at Bitcoin, we're seeing a decline in Bitcoin, but it does look like people are kind of getting into Mara just because of the fact that this is going to be more of a long-term play, because as they establish themselves more, as they collect more Bitcoin, as their valuation goes up, this is potentially going to rise. Now, I like this one because it gets you a foot in the door for Bitcoin without holding Bitcoin, because, well, Mara holds the Bitcoin for you. And Bitcoin is not going away in any way, shape, or form. Again, we're in a decline here, but the fact that we got to 64K, we could see a retracement back up to that. Right now, we've seen, I think, 3 Bitcoin major crashes in the past. This is the good time to potentially put this one on your watch list as the prices of Bitcoin increase. Incorrect, they were going to, this has the potential to definitely make some big moves. So this one I think should be on your watch list. Now, I know that we have a hold right here. I would think that maybe after the next leg down, if Bitcoin decides that it wants to go back down and test that 30K mark, we could see a pullback here on Mara, which would be a good opportunity to buy both Mara and Bitcoin. Honestly, I think that 30 is the floor for Bitcoin. I think that we'll potentially test it, which case we will potentially see this drop back down, because our low here was on the 13th, and if we take a look here at the chart, the 13th was on a decline here. It wasn't the bottom. The bottom was on the 19th right here, but we did see a decline and then an increase there in the Mara price as this kind of is stabilizing here in this 30 to 40 range as it just kind of crabs. But anyways, Bitcoin aside, I think Mara is definitely a good one to watch. If you like this content and you want to see more crypto adjacent content videos, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, smash the bell notification, drop a like and a comment on what you think about Mara. Are you holding it? Are you looking to buy Bitcoin? How bad is your portfolio bleeding if you're holding crypto right now? Because I know mine is rough, but it's going to give you really good buying opportunities. And again, this is one, put it on your watch list. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Yeah.